Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time we did some investigating, today we're going to do some questionating. It would appear that the answer has made itself known. You're making quite a confident face there, Mr. Prosecutor. Bring it on, I'm ready to count any argument you may have. Very well then, if you are prepared, I'll show you exactly where my deductions have led me. Good, I'm counting on you, Edgy. Leave it to me, Larry. My first attack will be to expose your lie for what it really is. My lie? I know that there is still something you are keeping from the rest of us. What's wrong with you? Why is it you won't believe me no matter what I say, Edgy? Curse you, I should just hurry up and die already if that's how it's gonna be. I'll confess to every murder in the whole world and then kill myself. Damn. And throw everything into mass confusion. You made some wonderful friends as a child, I see. Larry, I only have one thing to say to you. Even if you make that face at me, it's no use. A man who is ready to die is strong-willed, you know. Larry, it doesn't matter what sort of harebrained trouble you've caused. Only ask that you do not lie to me. You cause an innocent person to be judged unfairly because of some insipid lie. I will never forgive you. Edgy. Although allow me to say that I consider you to be among the innocent in this case, and that I will draw the real killer out. You can trust me on this. Alright, this time I'll tell you the whole truth, okay? What happened, what didn't happen, the works. Just what happened will do. Now then, if you would please testify as to what you did up on the roof tonight. Up on the rooftop. After the show, I left the push cart in the Rose Garden and came into the embassy. Then they took a picture of me shaking hands with the ambassador. After that, and until my next appearance, I had some free time, so I wandered around. That's when I spotted the chimney. A chimney like that is a rare thing, you know. So then I wanted to play Santa and decided to give it a try. Larry, I thought I just finished telling you to not lie anymore. But it's kinda ultra embarrassing. And what exactly is so ultra embarrassing that you can't tell me? Edgy, man. I just said it was embarrassing, so of course I can't just blurt it out. So you're just gonna have to reason it out of me. As your superior, I command you to hurry up and expose this man's lie. I have every intention to, for I'm not about to let us waste time with such a trifling matter. Alright. Like, no, not that. Not that. Not that. Yeah, we gotta, talk about this. You suddenly wanted to play Santa. Oh, well, actually, I dressed up as Santa once before already. That was down at Gort Lake. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't dredge up such unnecessary memories for me. Heh. Sounds like you guys share a lot of history. A perk to being childhood friends, huh? Besides, it's not a felony to dress up and play Santa, you know. Santa doesn't go around killing people after he comes down a family's chimney, after all. Actually, is it worth delving into whether or not playing Santa is a big deal? Yeah, raise an objection. Actually, I believe in the case of this man, playing Santa is actually quite a big deal. Are you saying that your buddy isn't exactly made of Santa quality stuff? Precisely. Hit the nail on the head, Agent Lang. Hey, Edgy, that's so incredibly mean. Tell me something, Larry. Did you know that Santa's job is to deliver presents to people all over the world? Of course I know that. I did graduate from junior high, you know. In that case, it's your turn to tell me something. I want you to tell me to whom you were delivering a present to. I was, delivering a present to a child not basking in the glow of love. That must be the most elegant description of you I've ever heard. But a lie is still a lie. You sure know how to kick a guy when he's down, you know that? In any case, the person you wish to deliver a present to was most certainly this. Well, I mean, he didn't know it was her, but yeah, technically it was Old Bert. Heh, interesting taste you have there, Mr. Suspect. Don't spread lies about me. I totally didn't want to see Miss Oldbag so much that I tried to go down a chimney. Ow. I advise you to stop right there in your bashing of a lady. I must admit that I, myself, hardly ever have the want to run into that lady. However, what if you were misinformed and under the wrong impression? Then what? Define wrong impression. I simply mean that the man before you thought to enter the old lady's room without knowing one very important fact. And that fact is best summed up with this. Letter from a stalker. Larry, I'd like for you to take a look at this piece of evidence. Sorry about the coughing there. No way. But it's not really all that important, is it? It's always like this. You acted so high and mighty and then you bully me. That's why I refuse to look at it. Be quiet and just take a look. Well, if you say so, Francie, but only because you say so. Some people never change, even if their attitudes do change at the whim of women. So what's up with that anyway? Why, it's proof that you never even knew existed, of course. Oh, is that all? Well, I don't need it right now, so I'll just give it back to you. What? Heh, I've got you on the ropes now, don't I? What? No! Oh, Larry didn't know one important fact. Oh, okay, okay. Because that proves that he had the intent of going in there. Oh, duh. Okay, that's all on me. I was stupid. This is something the lady received from her employer for the night. The girl who normally plays the Pink Princess, Mindy, was it again? It seems that this man is quite taken with that actress. But that's not true, Edgy. She's the one with the hots for me. I just know it. I can feel her sexy beam piercing my heart when she's watching me. Sexy beam, I tell ya! Is that a Silent Hill 3 reference? You filthy, despicable, inconsiderate, fickle, idiotic, cowardly apparition of a man. You haven't matured at all since we last met. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes? This guy, he's got bigger problems than just getting involved in murders, I take it. Suppose you could put it that way. Hey, what the heck, man? I don't get you guys at all. Why do you all have to make me out to be some sort of bad guy? To return to the original topic, I propose that at least this much has been made clear. Without any knowledge that Miss Mindy had fallen ill, Larry tried to make his way into the Pink Princess's room, that much we know for sure. Hey, Edgy. Looks like I got the hang of this court thing now. But we're not in court at the moment. Shut up! I see what's going on here and it looks just like what you do in court. Guess old boy here still has something he'd like to say. Lang G says, until the root of the tongue dries, one never knows the whole truth. You shouldn't form conclusions until everything is out in the open, which is why I'll listen. Alright, then get ready to listen to me defeat Edgy in the battle of wits. Larry, have you forgotten that should I lose, your victory prize will be your arrest? He's stupid, Edgeworth. He's stupid. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. Then to top it all off, I became a suspect in the murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? Hey, someone say something. Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this, not as a confession, but as testimony? So what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? So it was you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man and one man only, and as long as Edge proves alive, I can't just drop him and be unfaithful. No, I can't, although earlier I was tempted just a teeny bit by the wolf man, but my love for dear Edge was press fine clothes, so returning, I swear it. I'm so inspired. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man. Thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there is nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. You still have to show me some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy, everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry, but I understand your point. Yeah, see, I'm totally pro at this now. No, you're not. Yeah, very well, if you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. That all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy. I mean... But that doesn't tell me everything. Like, it just says that, like, that proves that visiting Mindy was one aspect, but not the only thing. Was the smoke coming from the chimney really that thick? You bet. It was so thick I had tears pouring out of my eyes. It was a mess. I see. You do realize that you've just confirmed for us your chimney escapade. What? That's totally unfair. You tricked me, Edgy. Hardly. You simply have yet to master how to counter this cross-examination technique. Well, what I just said was a slip of the... No, I mean, I said the wrong thing. Besides, isn't this what you really meant to say about what I did tonight? It's a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake may be late for the speech. I've been saying that for a while now. After all, if not for that, then for what other reason did you wish to go down that chimney? You can't say that without any evidence. That's against the rules, Edgy. Yeah, thanks for keeping the prosecutor in line for me, Mr. Suspect. I have the evidence, and if you wish to see it that badly, I can introduce you to. Ah, but it's not good to keep them waiting, my subordinate. Hurry and show them already. Lies, all lies, Edgy. Well, if you wish to lie, then by all means continue. As I'm ready to expose your lie at a moment's notice. You won't get the better of me now. Let's see. Oh, then... maybe I do have to submit that on the first part. Make sure. Oh no, that's what you really meant thing. Nah, because what I meant was that you were stalking her. Fuck. Or not. Alright, maybe I have to submit that on the first thing then. Oh boy. Oh, there was another statement? Maybe it's this one then? I am just screwing up. Oh, okay. I'm not proud of that one. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey, why are you showing that thing to me? Wendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Oh, Vendy, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your loving knight. No, Francisca, that's just a case of bad penmanship. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. You can pretend to be ignorant all you like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Miss Mindy a visit. The part of the letter shows that the person Larry had intended to meet was Mindy. This, because it's just bad penmanship. Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. Or again, as the British would say. What the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English. I was. You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became windy to the average eye. Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing. There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching. But that will have to wait until we're off the crime scene. Edgy, save me from the scary man. Sure, if you're willing to make amends, starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake. That wasn't me. Come again. It's a fake. Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter. To set me up. Accept your defeat graciously. But you guys are being so mean. Penmanship analysis. What's that? No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours. And we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter. I'll never write another thing in my life. Tisk, tisk, tisk. It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight. For you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. Oh, let's freaking go. It actually had a use. Wow. This autograph in our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure. I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head. Edgy. So he finally confesses. I saw the pink princess being carried around in the stretcher and got worried, alright. I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney. What a criminally overactive imagination. Also, jump cut. I have returned! Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney. What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be so shocked they came down through the chimney. Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me. Because, at the very least, I can attest to that about you. Edgy, we've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. Ow! In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Budd sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but to enter the room of the elderly lady next door. Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on the guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay? Ow! Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet? He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of that suspect after all. He may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night. With a blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene. As long as there is no satisfactory explanation for that. This wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite. Eee! Edgy! That guy, he looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial. Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand and a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you got. I could easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon, but the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble. This is one game I can't afford to lose. Why, Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim, the masked the second. Beside him was a samurai sword glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. He was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect Larry Butts, in here too. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak him to the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who would say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence. Well, I mean, history dictates that, well, you think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. But come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being. Meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. Okay. Right, we can't dispute that. Can't dispute that. Simply not possible that the samurai sword is the real murder weapon. Proving that point to Agent Lang first. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing. About this samurai sword, have you received a report from forensics yet? They confirmed that the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. Alright, but have they confirmed that the outline of his wound is consistent with the weapon? Tell me something. You see the dead body right there in front of you? So, if they were conducting the autopsy right now, shouldn't that body not be here? Well? I suppose so. I guess they must still be investigating this room. Meaning that it's possible he doesn't know about that piece of evidence's true nature. Anything else you'd like to chit-chat about? No? Good. Now let's continue. True nature of the weapon. I'm not sure. Genuinely, I'm not sure. No, but that's the other victim. Not this one. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful not to mix up. Okay. Let's press on this, just to make sure. Larry has already testified that he forgot the samurai sword here. Yeah, I was shaking hands with the ambassador in here and I left it behind by accident. So what? You lied earlier, so who's to say that this excuse isn't just another lie? But I forget stuff all the time, right, Edgy? Tell him. Why don't you tell him yourself? You see, what did I tell you earlier? No one will buy such a pathetically weak excuse. Yes, well, I know that it's not possible to prove such an excuse as truth. And yet you offered up as fact. You're a worse person than I originally thought. You're free to think what you'd like, however, I know that Larry is not the killer. Shi-Long, please continue your argument. I'll expose the flaw in it soon enough. Okay, I'm going to have to think. Okay, I have no idea what to present here, but the fact that we got this line out of him, the only thing I can think of is the samurai spear. Because we kind of have proof that Larry had that with him and bent it, hitting it against a wall. Whereas earlier it was fine, like on the stage, I assume, so... He didn't have the sword with him? This is a confusing one, I'm not sure. But that was correct. Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? Heh, it's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down, spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. Yeah. So what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. Way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. As you can clearly see, the insides of the Steel Samurai's weapons are hollow. Didn't Lang already state, though, that the sword was hollow but still, like, weighed a bit? Or did he say it wasn't real but weighed a bit? Either way, it still weighed a bit, so... In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow. But he was holding the sword and said it weighed... let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, there is not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Okay, the dent portion, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily. I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. And I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him. Ouch! What was that updated to say? They couldn't do the early summer rain jab special attack. Is that going to be important? That's more than enough of your viney vampering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se. So all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I'm not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken, for no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. But a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this route than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damas II without bending it. So what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need. Of course, I need this evidence even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Why, Larry? Part 2. It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So is it only natural that suspicion will fall to the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I won't, because we examine every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned, and we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. The only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned. Is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. Yeah, because wouldn't there be a blood splatter then if he was beaten to death with a blunt weapon? Let's press on that. But you must know that your conclusion is wrong. Given the circumstance I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates, because they are much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be. And you call yourself a professional? You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. The only way to do that is to show me proof of another possible murder weapon. Another possible weapon? In this room there's only one other thing left. It's going to be a gamble, but I can't withdraw from the game now. They're going to give me the trust by the power of your glare alone, you know. Plus I have other reasons as to why I think the samurai sword is the murder weapon. The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword. That's right, you went luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. To propel Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon. Yeah. If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. Ha! Ha ha ha! The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. On these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. That item is the real murder weapon. Wait. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damas II. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is... Oh my fucking god, is it really going to be what I think it's going to be? Oh my god, both individual statues are here. It was moved during the murder, because I did point out that, like, yeah, like, it was facing straight ahead. But in this picture, it was off to the side. It could be... How heavy? Well... It isn't like a full-length statue, so it could be heavy enough to pick up, hit someone and not dent. Both countries claim to own the real one. Signs it was moved during the murder. But... yeah. These people aren't allowed. Okay. Sorry, got cut off there, but yeah, like, their men wouldn't have been allowed to touch that. And it's been turned. The music stopped. Let's go. The national treasure of Alabast. You mean the Primaduck statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Ha! You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident. Between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal, two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance, over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. Oh, I was prepared to present that, but okay. And there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He's most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Lang Zi says... Just go already! Yes, sir! I like how Bad and Missile were just sitting here for the entire thing. Shifu, yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primaduck statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you gotta be tough when you represent a whole country, you know. Agent Lang. What do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then. Let's talk more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol... chemiluminescence test on the statue. A luminol test? Ah, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damas II. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It really doesn't. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damas II, so the charge remains. It just proves that the sword wasn't the murder weapon. We're hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Huh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Because why was it turned? There's a shield on his back. I wonder if that's supposed to mean that his back is covered. Lange says those with a shield on their back deflect all enemies behind them. It means that he is ready for any blindside attacks that may come his way. Agent Lang, there's no need to attach overly complex meanings to such a simple thing. Heh, you didn't seem to get Lange saying, so I was just explaining it to you. The saying itself is what I was referring to when I said overly complex, you know. Oh. And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. It looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Hey, forensics guy, I want results in these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good, and? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Ablaze embassy? Huh. Prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's... impossible. Each Primiduc statue can only be handled by someone of that country. By the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. That's the Primiduc statue from the ball. Right? Yeah, are we on the Babal side? No, we're on the Alabas side, so... Alright, so yeah, that's the statue from Babal. So was he trying to switch the statues? Thinking that one was, like, trying to get the real one? But then he ended up dead on his side. I'm confused. This statue is actually Babal's Primiduc statue. Impossible! It can't be! Larry never once set foot on Babali's soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabastian knife in Babal. And Damas II was killed on Alabastian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see what the big picture they were to form. Same? Usually I can come up with, like, some theories. I got nothing here. Alright, can't wait for the next investigation segment, because kind of need it. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. Goodbye.